Okay, last section on chapter 2 is change expressed as a percent. Today we're going to wrap up everything with a very straightforward process. In order to understand it, we must first know how to create a percentage. If you see a statement that someone made 7 out of 11 shots and you want to know what percentage they did, we pretty much take the part, which is 7, divided by the whole, which is 11, and you simply divide 7 by 11 and convert that into a percent. This is 0.636, which if we move that decimal 2 spots is 63.6%. Same thing, if someone gets 13 out of 16 questions correct on a quiz, what percent grade did they earn? You can actually use this whenever you take one of my quizzes or tests also. What you do is you take the number they got right out of the total. Again, the total always goes on the bottom. You then divide and you get 0.812, which of course for class is only 2 spots, so that would round to be a 81% grade. So again, if you're still having an issue with the basic idea of just creating the percentage using part over whole, then make sure you stop the video now, come and see me, because if you don't know how to make a percentage, then this is going to be a long video and you're not going to get what you need out of it. So again, if you're having an issue, feel free to stop it, bring your papers over to me, and I can show you how to make a percentage out of anything. What is the most important part of finding percent change? Considering the fact it's called percent change, the most important part is determining how much the value changed. But once you've identified it, you want to divide it by the original amount. So the general formula for percent change is take the amount of change, divide it by the original. And again, just remember, we care about what the original was, because again, if you want to change, you don't want to base it off of where they are now. You want to base it off of where it was. So you take how much it changed and divide it by wherever it started, and that is going to give you a percent change. Your notes will tell you that percent change can be either an increase or a decrease, and this is determined by whether or not the new value is higher or lower. Again, it's a common sense thing. If I started with $15 and ended with 18, obviously that is an increase. If I started with $15 and ended with 10, obviously that's a decrease. But again, just keep that in mind whenever you do it, because on the quiz, actually on the test, you have to make sure you say increase or decrease, otherwise you lose half your points. So don't do anything silly like that, and make sure we try to get this right. Again, looking at this stuff here, a couple examples, I believe they're on the back of your paper as we wrap this up. You purchased a car for $5,000. After fixing the car and adding upgrades, you're able to sell the car for $6,285. What is the percent change? Is it an increase or a decrease? First thing we must do is find the change, and that would be by doing 6285 minus 5,000, which I believe is just 1,285. Again, that is your change amount. Sorry, I wrote so small, I forgot I was on camera here. But again, the number is 1,285, and that is your change amount. And so again, the formula that we just learned is we find out how much change it was over the original. So 1,285 over 5,000 is what I'm going to do. And again, take your calculator. 1,285 divided by 5,000 is 0.257, which makes 25.7%. And again, is it an increase or decrease? Well, I started here and sold it there, so that is a 25.7% increase. Do not forget to add those to your answers. Again, that is where a lot of people miss just silly points on there, and those silly points can make the difference between you getting a 99 and an 89. So just be careful whenever that happens. Sorry, I had to make sure I put that in focus for you. Original amount 134.7, new amount 83.1. Again, the first thing you want to do is determine the amount of change by doing 134.7 minus 83.1, which again you can do here, getting 51.6. Now we take that 51.6 and divide it by the starting amount, which is 134.7. Again, on your calculators, as long as that's in the part, you can just hit divided by. That's what A and S just means, whatever the last number that was in the memory base was. So divided by 134.7. Oops. Oh, guess we gotta do it anyway. 0.383. Which again, if you shift that twice, is 38.3%. started out here, it dropped down to 83. That is a decrease. So a 38.3% decrease is what we're looking at right there. Third example, original amount 38, new amount 70. So what we're looking at here is, again, first we've got to find, if they want percent change, we first off must find out how much it changed. It does not matter what is first, but I always like to start with the big number first. 70 minus 38 is 32. Now we take that amount of change and divide it by the original. 32 divided by 38 is 0.842, which means that it's at 84.2%. In this case, it is an increase because it went from 38 to 70 and it went up. Alright. Last thing this chapter talks about, or that this unit section talks about, is a percent error. I don't know if this is as much on your homework, but I know that it does exist on some of the stuff that the book wants you to know, so we're going to kind of go over it. It's really not a hard thing to do. It's kind of like percent change, but percent error is you have to know how far you are off, and you again have to divide to make your percentage. So it says you approximate the weight of a dog to be 65 pounds. The dog is actually 71 pounds. What is your percent error? Again, in order to find that, we have to find out how much we are off. Change in this case is how much we are off, which means we do 71 minus 65, which is 6. 6 is our key number. The question is, what do we divide by? Well, if it's a percent error, then we want to base it off of what the actual answer was, and the actual weight is 71, which means that you now do 6 divided by 71, which is 0.085. Again, 5 because that 5 bumped up that 4, and so that is at 8.5% error would be what you're looking at. Alright. Just remember, your first job is to identify the amount of change or the amount of error. Also remember, we compare it to the original, or as we saw there, what the actual answer is. In the end, just be sure to start looking over all your notes and material. Start working on your homework. On Thursday, you do have a review. You have review day tomorrow and Wednesday. On Thursday, there will be an assignment put up that you can work on and earn extra credit points on your test if you do that. So you might want to make sure you start working on your homework and trying to get all that stuff done, because you have to have a 100% on all of your homework assignments in order to do that extra assignment. It's called a prerequisite, because the only way you earn extra credit is by doing extra work. So for those of you who are in position for that, great. For those of you who are not, you might want to start working for that now. Again, get to work. That is going to help you out, and by what I mean by that is I'll probably add about 5 to 10 points on your test based off of you doing that homework on Thursday. So there is a little something for you to look forward to kind of maybe motivate you to work, and also to maybe motivate you to work earlier in the next chapter. But other than that, go ahead and go to the Math Excel and let's begin our work. Good luck.